Hello everyone, this is Zach with the Gridiron Review, and we're going to be breaking down our biggest winners from the 2023 NFL Combine on offense. We have a winner and a runner-up for each position. If you like this content, please remember to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner, and we really appreciate it and hope to see you back on our channel. Thanks. Our first winner, and probably the most obvious of the whole combine, especially on the offensive side, is Anthony Richardson. He had the best athletic testing combine we've ever seen from a quarterback, and maybe just in general. And more importantly, we'll break this down when we go over our top 10 at each position, so keep an eye out on our channel for that when that comes out. His throwing motion looks so much cleaner. He showed off a really strong arm and a surprising accuracy compared to what he looked in college. Next, we have Ohio State quarterback CJ Stroud. He's our quarterback one, and he has been for a while, seeing as he has a nice combination of upside and floor. At the combine, he was the best thrower there. He showed an effortless motion, incredible anticipation, and next level elite accuracy that should have him going number one overall. It was truly one of the better throwing sessions we've ever seen at the NFL Combine. Evan Hall from Northwestern had a very surprising testing day in a very good way. He did all the drills. He was only one of two players we think that did everything as far as athletic testing goes. Surprising 40, very good jumps, and a decent all-around day, but where he really stood out was his hustle. Every touch he had, he took to the house. Some people may view this as tacky and an attempt to just gain draft stock just because, but reports indicate he does this even in practice, and it's the kind of effort you saw out of Isaiah Pacheco. So Evan Hall probably gained a lot of draft hype here as a player that you want on your team, even if he's not a starter, but the athletic testing showed he could be a starter and an every down back with his pass catching ability. Our runner-up for the biggest winners at running back is Zach Charbonnet, but to be honest, there's so many options. The running back class as a whole looked very, very good, as we also liked Roschon Johnson's workout, we liked Devon Achane, and there's just a lot of backs that show they're going to be productive at the next level. But the reason Charbonnet is the runner-up is because he measured in almost 220 and ran a very good time, had some good athletic testing, and showed that he has a lot of potential as a pass-catching back. He's probably now running back 3. Our comparison for him is David Johnson, but he might actually be a little bit better of an athlete than him. So we think Charbonnet is going to get drafted early second at this point. Bryce Wheaton is a player that you heard almost nothing about heading into the combine. He was definitely an afterthought. And if you out there did know about him and were high on him, then congrats to you because that's incredible. His athletic score, as you can see, was only one short of DK Metcalf. We have this graphic up to show just how good he did athletically. Now, this is not everything, as production and potential matter when you're looking at the next level, but for a player that improved his draft stock the most, Bryce Wheaton is certainly up there and should definitely be considered a winner. In a combine where a lot of the top receivers failed to stand out, really, in our opinion, Zay Flowers is the only one that proved why he's our wide receiver one. The rest either did very little athletic testing or just didn't look that good. Although, to be fair, the NFL coverage of wide receivers is horrible, and they need to start putting up who's running what routes because it's really hard to track unless you have the list, but that's a rant for another video. Jaxon Njigba didn't run the 40, which we were really bummed about because we had concerns about his long speed. However, in this instance, he proved his point with a 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle that put him in elite company, showing that his short area quickness is what matters. Now, not necessarily a bad thing, but we don't know that he can survive on the outside as a full-time player, so he's probably going to be relegated to the slot, but that's, again, not a bad thing. He can be a good option, not a traditional alpha, maybe never an alpha, but for us, we think the comparison of Juju Smith-Schuster is a lot stronger leaving the combine, but in a good way, where he showed he has the short area quickness to match his really good hands and good route running. Going into the combine, you'd be hard-pressed to find a person who thought there was any tight end that was going to test more like a unicorn than Darnell Washington. However, Zack Kuntz from Old Dominion did just that. He measured in taller than Darnell Washington, jumped higher, ran a decent amount faster, and just from an athletic standpoint is one of the better prospects we've ever seen at tight end based on his testing. That being said, he still comes from a very small school, and tight ends don't have a great history of transitioning from the small schools. It's unknown where he really is going to go, but expect his profile to get him taken in at least the 3rd round in what is an all-time great tight end class. Not to be sold short is the 2nd place top athletic score and our runner-up, Darnell Washington. Now, he's not here because of his testing. Everyone thought he was going to do well, and his sled rep on the blocking drill is something of legend and should be played every single year, but again, he was known as a great blocker. The reason he's a winner for us is his receiving drills. He looked like a natural hands catcher, Very fluid, ran one of the straighter gauntlet drills within the tight end group and overall. And he ended his day with a super great highlight one-handed catch on the end zone fade drill that shows he might be able to make a bigger impact receiving in his first year than expected. When you look at a guy like Kyle Pitts get taken in the top 5 with great receiving ability and no blocking, what does that say for Darnell Washington, who may be one of the better blocking tight ends coming out of college ever, and is now showing an advanced sense of pass catching more than expected? We're going to include the offensive linemen all in one go just because we have them as winners, the 4 listed, for all the same reason. They looked a lot better athletically than they did on film, and they did really well in the positional drills. All 4 should have their draft stock on the rise.